All right, peace be to all. Omar here. So I'm going to field a question that I got from one prospective PA student asking about intelligence level. In other words, how intelligent do you have to be to get into PA school and through it? So PA school, of course, being physician associate, it's still somewhat of a challenge for me to use the term associate because I've been a physician assistant for more than 20 years. So we just started, I think the term associate was just officially used just in the past year. So how smart do you have to be to get into PA school and through it? The answer is it depends. So the average IQ score, intelligent quotient score, is, I think, I've read different internet sources. I think Wikipedia has it at 100. And a score of like 115 means that you have above average intelligence. So 90, high 80s is below average. I would dare say mine is probably, I say this about myself, it's probably low 90s, possibly high 80s. I don't know. I really struggled through school, both undergraduate and grad school, and it really depended on the class. You know, I had a lot of challenges with math-based courses, so physics, general chemistry, of course, math. It took me 2 times to get through just pre-calculus. I didn't even get to calculus. One of my kids took advanced calculus and got A's or calculus 1 and 2. So it's amazing. It's like some kind of gift to me. But I did take biostatistics and completed my dissertation for my doctorate. I had to take a more advanced biostatistics. I forgot what the course was called. It was so long ago. But I got through it. It was a great struggle. Now, I say if I can get through 2 bachelors, a master's, and a doctorate, you know, if you're of average intelligence, if you're watching this video, you're probably more intelligent than me, especially on an IQ test, because I've never done quite well on standardized exams. Probably because my IQ was lower than average. That could be one of the factors. But you can make it. Now, I did teach. I was a college professor many years ago for about 4 years. Taught at a couple of universities. I found that the so-called smart students were not always high IQ see, there you go, high IQ havers. They weren't always people who had high IQs. They were people who were very disciplined in their studies, so they had good study habits. They usually sat at the front of the class so as not to be distracted by the stuff going on in the back. They usually did not involve themselves in the dynamics of class drama. You know, there's always some kind of argument through, you know, amongst students or the college professor and the students. They didn't work, you know, or if they did work, they worked a job like a security guard or something where there was not a lot of responsibility on their part. And they could, you know, in terms of having to do a lot of busy work that would keep your mind busy, you know, and that's the fact of the matter. I worked as a security guard for 4 or 5 years while I was in my last part of my undergraduate and in PA school. You sit there and the television monitors kind of do the work for you, and then you do your building rounds. But it's not work that really will tire you out while you're in school. But you know, these students had jobs like that. The students that struggled a lot academically, and some that didn't make it, were students that often busied themselves with superfluous matters. You know, they didn't like somebody's attitude in the classroom. There was a lot of drama surrounding them. They had beef vehement disagreements with different professors. When it came time to doing classroom projects, like you're going to have group presentations in PA schools, they usually didn't do their fair share of the work, because they would come up with the excuse, well, I had to go to my job, or I had to take my kid to some play or something, or some soccer game. But they weren't focused. They weren't solely focused on their academic sojourn as they needed to be successful. And they also didn't take responsibility or accountability for their academic shortcomings. So more often than not, those students did not fare well in PA school. I struggled in PA school. Again, I full disclosure, I worked 2 jobs. I was a nursing assistant, a security guard, and then my first semester I was actually a bicycle courier. I would deliver packages from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. and then come to class, my clinical chemistry class at 8 a.m. Clinical chemistry, which was very challenging because it was new information. That's not the thing you want to be doing in PA school. So yeah, I didn't do well in that class. I made it through, obviously, but don't be that type of student. So if you have average IQ, or even slightly below average, which I suspect mine is, you should be able to make it. There is a paradigm shift in a lot of standardized exams. So I don't know if this is trying to take accountability for people who don't do well on standardized exams. A lot of schools no longer require the SAT, the standard scholastic aptitude test, or the GREs for the graduate record exam for grad school. There's a bunch of master's degree schools that don't require the GREs. Even medicine now, I just found out that the USMLE Step 1 is now pass-fail. And it's a similar thing for Step 2 of the USMLEs. That was, I think, passed a year or 2 ago. You no longer have to get a specific score. It's pass-fail. So in other words, if somebody scores high on the exam, they get the same score, quote-unquote, as somebody who scored low on the exam. Well, how do you quantify, who qualifies as a top applicant for a residency program? Similarly, if you have a PA school that doesn't require the GREs or the PCATs, the physician assistant acceptance exam or application exam, how do you determine who is a prime applicant or not? Maybe you can do things like GPA. Well, what if the students cheat? What if the student went to an easy school or something like that? So this is one of the things that's going on. And I don't know if it's in response to a lot of, PC culture, saying that standardized exams are racist or sexist or classist or whatever. So you're seeing a lot of that. But anyway, if you have an average IQ, you should be able to make it through PA school, assuming that you did reasonably well in undergraduate. So you have at least a 3.0 GPA. You have your required number of direct patient contact hours, that kind of thing. So it's really more about what kind of student you are. Are you a efficient student, a focused student, and a disciplined student? I would put that over somebody who has several points higher on a GPA or an IQ test. All right, that's it for now. Forgive me for that circuitous answer. I wish you guys the best of success in your positive endeavors. Subscribe if you want some advice on how to get into PA school. You can reach out to me. I'll leave my contact information in the description. It's a great career. I've enjoyed it for 20 years. Take care. Peace.